In the dimly lit kitchen, Olivia Bradley was struggling with her household accounts. The streetlights illuminating the mid-sized Michigan city filtered through the windows of her apartment. She was using this quiet time while her 2 children slept to balance her monthly expenses and income. Her salary as a medical office clerk wasn't enough to raise 2 children. 12-year-old Ethan, intelligent and quiet, and 9-year-old Leah, bubbling with curiosity. Both were growing fast, and with that came increasing expenses. Olivia sighed deeply. Summer vacation was approaching, and the children were full of anticipation. She wanted to give them at least a small adventure, some memorable time together. But after paying this month's rent, utilities, and food, there was no room in the budget for a trip. She picked up her cell phone and checked messages from her parents. Harold and Catherine ran Robinson Properties, a real estate company in Michigan. For years, they had provided financial support to Olivia and her grandchildren. After her divorce, that support had been a crucial pillar in her life for several years. "I'm afraid we'll have to reduce our usual support this year," her father Harold had said on the phone last week. "The company is struggling a bit. The real estate market is tough with the economic fluctuations." "I understand, Dad," Olivia had replied, trying to hide her disappointment. "It's okay. We'll manage somehow." But it was painful when she talked to her children about summer plans. "We might not be able to take a big trip this year," she gently explained. It hurt to see the joy fade from Ethan and Leah's faces. "We can't go to Disneyland?" Leah asked, tears welling in her big eyes. "It's difficult this year, sweetheart," Olivia answered. "Grandpa and Grandma's company is going through a tough time. Things might be better next year." The children showed surprising understanding, saying, "If Grandpa and Grandma are having a hard time, we'll do without too." Their innocent acceptance made Olivia's heart ache. Meanwhile, her sister Melissa was in a different situation. She lived with her husband Brad and their 2 children, 10-year-old Taylor and 7-year-old Connor. Melissa held an important position at their parents' real estate company and benefited greatly from it. Last week, when Olivia visited her parents' home, Melissa's new luxury SUV was parked in the driveway. "Nice new car," Olivia commented. "Yes, a bonus from Mom and Dad," Melissa replied casually. "For closing a deal for the company." Olivia said nothing. Deep down, she felt that her parents' support always favored Melissa. But she never voiced this. She always prioritized keeping peace in the family. And she told herself, "I'm sure Mom and Dad really are struggling. It's natural for Melissa to get bonuses since she works at the company." But that night after returning home, Olivia stared out her apartment window into the darkness and felt resentment at the unfairness. Her children ate modest dinners and studied with second-hand school supplies. Meanwhile, Melissa's children had the latest gadgets and enjoyed various activities every weekend. Olivia shook her head, trying to dismiss such thoughts. She believed jealousy was an ugly emotion. And she wanted to teach her children about love and compassion rather than material wealth. She suppressed her feelings and put away her account book, preparing for work the next day. Tomorrow is a new day. Somehow, we'll manage, she encouraged herself. Then she looked in on her children and gently kissed them as they slept. At the end of July, sad news arrived on Olivia's cell phone. Her father's sister, Aunt Eleanor, who lived in Arizona, had passed away. She had been a kind aunt since the children were small, always sending hand-knitted sweaters for Christmas. "I have some sad news," Olivia gathered Ethan and Leah in the living room. "Great Aunt Eleanor has gone to heaven." The children quietly accepted the sadness. "Are we going to the funeral?" Ethan asked. "Yes, we're planning to," Olivia nodded. "We'll need to fly to Arizona." That night, Olivia searched for flight information on her laptop. Looking at the prices, she frowned. Though her budget was limited, she was determined to attend Aunt Eleanor's final farewell. "I found some discount airfare," she told her children. "It's a bit inconvenient, but we can manage it." "Is Arizona hot?" Leah asked with curiosity. "Very hot," Olivia smiled. "But it looks like the hotel has a pool. We might be able to swim a bit after the funeral." The children's faces brightened. They had given up on a family vacation for summer break, but they were happy to experience even a small taste of travel this way. At least a small adventure for the children, Olivia thought. Though it was a trip for a sad reason, it would still be an opportunity to show the children a new place. On departure day, Olivia and the children left home early in the morning. They took a public bus to the airport, arriving 3 hours early. With discount tickets, the check-in order was important. "This way, the economy check-in is over here," Olivia guided her children toward a long line. Ethan suddenly tugged on Olivia's arm. "Mom, look! Aren't those Grandpa and Grandma?" When Olivia looked in that direction, she saw her parents at the premium check-in counter. And surprisingly, Melissa and her family were with them. They all carried luxury travel bags and were clearly dressed for an extended vacation. Harold was chatting with the clerk at the counter, and Catherine was pointing something out to her grandchildren. "It must be a coincidence," Olivia said, hiding her confusion. "They're probably going to Aunt Eleanor's funeral too." But inside, questions were swirling. Why hadn't her parents said anything about the funeral? And why did they appear to be preparing for a luxurious trip with Melissa's family when the company was supposedly struggling? When boarding time came, Olivia and her children headed for the plane with their boarding passes. The rear seats in economy class were scheduled to board last. Upon entering the aircraft, Olivia, Ethan, and Leah tried to pass through the first-class section via the narrow aisle. Suddenly, Leah stopped. "Mom, look," she said in a hushed but excited voice. In the spacious first-class seats sat her parents and sister's family. Harold and Catherine already held champagne glasses, while Melissa and her children were watching movies on tablets. Brad was receiving an explanation about premium wine labels from a flight attendant. Olivia felt as if her feet were nailed to the floor. Time seemed to stop. When her eyes met her parents, they showed a momentary surprise, then waved at Olivia with unnatural smiles. "Olivia, what a coincidence!" Catherine called out. There was tension in her voice. "Are you going to Eleanor's funeral?" Olivia asked quietly. Well," Harold stammered. "Actually, we're heading to Hawaii. It's sort of a company event." Olivia nodded silently. She took her children's hands and began walking toward the economy seats. Her mind was in turmoil. It was clear that her parents had lied about the company's struggles. Reaching their seats, Olivia helped Leah into the window seat, and Ethan sat in the aisle seat. Olivia herself took the middle seat. When mealtime came, the aroma of luxurious food wafted from first class. In contrast, economy offered only small sandwiches and drinks. Leah tugged at her mother's sleeve and whispered in a small voice, "Mom, are we being left out?" That question pierced Olivia's heart. Ethan also gazed out the window with a downcast expression. Even their childish hearts could sense the unfairness of the situation. Anger welled up in Olivia's chest. The inequity she had endured for years had reached its peak. She had been patient for her children's sake. Despite being poor, she believed her parents' claims that the company is struggling and taught her children to endure as well. But the reality was that her parents and sister's family were enjoying a luxurious vacation. "No, you're not being left out," Olivia answered quietly but with strong determination. "Rather, it's time to know the truth." Olivia took out her smartphone and secretly took a photo of her parents and sister's family in first class. The image clearly showed them tilting champagne glasses and enjoying luxurious meals. And she made a decision. Olivia sent that photo to the family group chat, which included her parents, sister's family, uncles, aunts, cousins, the entire extended family. She added one message: "My parents told me we can't have a family vacation this year because the company is struggling, so my children and I have been enduring. But this is what I found on the plane. Enjoy your family trip to Hawaii." The moment she pressed send, Olivia's heart was pounding. She could see a commotion in first class. From the moment the photo was posted to the family group chat, Olivia's smartphone wouldn't stop buzzing. Notification sounds rang one after another, and she switched to airplane mode. But before that, she saw messages of surprise and anger flowing in from Uncle Jim, Aunt Martha, cousins Sarah and Jason, and other relatives. Olivia returned her smartphone to her bag and gazed out the window. Her heart was filled with complex emotions. There was anger and sadness, and also a strange sense of liberation. For years, she had remained silent for the sake of family peace. But now, the truth was out. There was no need to hide anymore. "Mom, are you okay?" Ethan asked with concern. Olivia smiled at her son. "I'm fine. Sometimes, you have to speak the truth." Leah squeezed her mother's hand. "Are Grandpa and Grandma angry?" "Probably," Olivia answered honestly. "But that's their problem. We just revealed the truth." For the rest of the flight, Olivia didn't look toward first class. She watched movies with her children and discussed their plans in Arizona. She tried not to overthink the consequences of her action. What would happen would happen. Upon arriving in Arizona, Olivia turned off airplane mode. Her smartphone immediately started ringing, displaying over 20 missed calls from her parents and a message from Melissa saying, "What are you thinking?" Olivia took a deep breath and headed for the terminal with her children. They rented a car and drove to a motel. The funeral was the next day. "Let's swim in the hotel pool," Leah said excitedly. "Sure," Olivia agreed. "But let's rest a bit and have lunch first." After checking into the motel, Olivia checked her smartphone again. There were new messages from her parents. "Olivia, let us explain. There's a misunderstanding. Please call us right away. This is a family matter." She ignored the messages and headed to a nearby diner with her children. While enjoying a late lunch there, she received a call from her cousin Diana. "Olivia. Everyone's talking about that photo," Diana's voice mixed sympathy and anger. "I can't believe Uncle Harold and Aunt Catherine would do such a thing." "I couldn't believe it either," Olivia replied quietly. "But this isn't the first time. For years, my parents have favored Melissa's family. But saying the company is struggling while taking a first-class trip to Hawaii." Diana was indignant. "Isn't that like fraud?" Olivia shrugged. "It's their choice. I just want to teach my children honesty and integrity." After hanging up, Olivia gazed at her children waiting across the table. Their innocent faces gave her courage. She had done the right thing. She wanted to show her children an example of standing up for their worth, rather than silently accepting unfairness. At the funeral the next day, relatives approached Olivia one after another. Many expressed sympathy and support. "That photo was really shocking," a distant aunt said. "Harold and Catherine, when did they become so selfish?" "I didn't know either," Olivia answered. "For years, they've been saying the company is struggling, but in reality." She left her words hanging. She didn't intend to villainize her parents completely. The truth being revealed had liberated her as well. During the funeral, Olivia created opportunities for Ethan and Leah to learn about the late Aunt Eleanor. "She was a very kind and caring person," she explained, trying to show the children the good side of family as well. The night after returning from the funeral, Olivia finally answered a call from her ex-husband Michael, who was also a member of the family group chat. I saw that photo. Michael's voice was serious. Their behavior is terrible. Are the kids okay? Somehow, but they're hurt, Olivia answered frankly. Listen, Olivia, Michael's voice had unusual passion. I actually looked into your parents' company. Using my knowledge as a lawyer, from the public information available, there are no signs of financial difficulty. In fact, revenue has increased by 30% over the past 3 years. Olivia gasped. Really? Yes, Michael continued. Not only that, I found out that Melissa's husband Brad has recently purchased a luxury car and built a new vacation home. This might be more than simple favoritism. Olivia stood by the window, looking up at the night sky. What do you mean? I don't know for sure, but there might be some financial manipulation going on, Michael said cautiously. It might not just be a matter of family favorites, but possibly misappropriation of company funds. Olivia fell silent. She had only wanted to expose her family's hypocrisy, but the situation was becoming more complex. We might need to investigate, Michael suggested. You and the children have legitimate rights. I'll think about it, Olivia replied. After hanging up, she sat on the sofa, holding her head. What had been a simple family issue seemed to be developing into something bigger. The following week, Olivia's uncle George Harold's brother, a retired accountant, contacted her. After seeing the photo, I asked a friend to check the financial status of Robinson Properties, George said in a quiet but stern tone. Several suspicious points were found. Large sums of money have been flowing out as consulting fees to external parties. And the recipient appears to be a shell company owned by Brad. Olivia's hands trembled. Isn't that illegal? Probably, George agreed. It seems Harold and Catherine have been channeling company funds to Melissa and Brad, essentially feeding off the family company. The claim that the company is struggling was merely an excuse to reduce support for you. The truth was becoming clear. Olivia was unsure how to handle this information. She didn't want to legally pursue her parents. She had only sought fair treatment for herself and her children. However, events had started moving beyond her control. The photo posted to the family group chat had spread beyond the family. Through acquaintances, it had circulated in the local real estate industry, rapidly eroding the credibility of her parents' company, which had falsely claimed to be struggling. Inquiries flooded in from investors and business partners, and shareholders, viewing the situation seriously, demanded an emergency shareholders meeting. Olivia was also summoned to the meeting as a family member. Entering the conference room, Olivia felt her stomach tighten with tension. Her parents and sister sat at the front of the room, their faces showing a mix of fatigue and fear. As the meeting began, Harold and Catherine attempted to defend themselves. It's a misunderstanding. The company's funds are being managed properly, Harold insisted. But their defense crumbled in the face of evidence presented by George and other accounting experts. The illicit fund diversion by Melissa and Brad was revealed with detailed investigation results. To save the company, a complete overhaul of management is necessary, declared the shareholders' representative. And surprisingly, the relatives requested Olivia to assume the position of interim CEO. Me? Olivia asked in disbelief. But I have no experience. Your administrative experience at a biotech company, and above all, your honesty, is what this company needs now, Uncle George explained. A fresh perspective on the real estate industry is also important. The conference room fell silent. Her parents and sister sat with shocked expressions. Olivia thought deeply. This wasn't simply revenge, but an opportunity to responsibly guide the company in the right direction. It was also a chance to show her children the importance of honesty and responsibility. I accept, she finally answered. But I have conditions. My goal is to save the company and protect the interests of all shareholders and employees. I do not intend to act out of personal grudges. A sigh of relief escaped from the conference room. Olivia looked at her parents across the table. Their eyes showed regret. She spoke firmly, but without hatred. It's time for all of us to do the right thing. 3 months had passed since Olivia became interim CEO. Her daily life had completely changed. During the day, she was busy managing the company. In the evening, she cherished time with her children, and at night, she pored over books and materials to learn about management. The atmosphere at Robinson Properties' office was different from before. Olivia had introduced a management policy emphasizing transparency and fairness, and employees were gradually responding to her sincere leadership. What's the outlook for the next quarter? Olivia asked the finance manager at the monthly staff meeting. Better than expected, reported Jennifer, the finance manager. With the normalization of unclear accounting procedures, investor confidence is also beginning to recover. Olivia nodded with satisfaction. However, there was still a heavy issue weighing on her heart. While organizing the company's finances, there had been another shocking discovery. For years, her parents had hidden profits that should have been distributed to Olivia in secret accounts. This isn't just favoritism, it's planned fraud, said her ex-husband Michael. He was supporting the company as a legal advisor. Olivia, you have the right to pursue this legally. Looking out the office window, Olivia thought deeply. Should I take legal action? That's your decision, Michael answered carefully. But please think about the children. For them, this isn't just a legal issue, but a matter of their relationship with their grandparents. Olivia nodded. She wanted to prioritize rebuilding the company and healing the family over legal measures. One Saturday morning, as Olivia was making pancakes with Ethan and Leah, Ethan asked a question. Mom, how's the company doing? Olivia answered with a smile. It's going well. Getting better little by little. Mom, you've gained more confidence, Ethan observed sharply. Olivia was surprised, but it was true. She had begun to believe in herself more than before. Being placed in a position of responsibility had led her to discover her own abilities. But can we never see Grandpa and Grandma again? Leah asked worriedly. At her question, Olivia momentarily faltered. Her relationship with her parents remained complicated. They had been removed from management and their involvement with the company was now limited. They did something wrong, Olivia answered honestly. But perhaps one day we'll reconcile. Though that will take time. One day, about 6 months after Olivia's appointment, Melissa suddenly visited the office. Her former haughty attitude was gone, and she looked tired. I want to talk, she said. Olivia told her secretary, I'll be unavailable for about 30 minutes, and invited Melissa into her office. What is it? Olivia asked calmly. Melissa sat in a chair and covered her face with her hands. Everything is falling apart, she choked out. Brad has squandered all the misappropriated funds on gambling and speculation. Now we're on the verge of bankruptcy. She continued, we can't even pay for the children's school, and our mortgage payments are in arrears. Brad drowns himself in alcohol every night. I need your help, Melissa pleaded tearfully. Olivia observed her sister from across the desk. The sister who had once been the object of her envy and jealousy was now seeking her sympathy. Life is ironic, Olivia thought. Melissa, Olivia said in a calm voice, as the company's CEO, I won't make judgments based on personal feelings. If you and Brad agree to return all the funds stolen from the company and accept legal responsibility, I'll consider what support the company can provide within its means. Melissa looked up in surprise. We can't make restitution. The money is gone. Are you willing to sell assets to repay it? Olivia asked sternly. Melissa silently looked down. I want you to understand, Melissa, Olivia continued, this isn't just a family matter, but a legal issue. I have a responsibility to the shareholders. Even if I personally want to help, I can't arbitrarily use company assets. But I'm your sister. Melissa cried out. Yes, you are my sister, Olivia answered slowly. That's why I want you to do the right thing. When we were children, our parents taught us about honesty and responsibility. But as adults, it seems those teachings were forgotten. Tears flowed from Melissa's eyes. What should I do? First, legally disclose everything, Olivia said. Then, establish a repayment plan to the extent possible. After that, I'll consider what support the company can provide. Before leaving the office, Melissa turned back. You've changed, Olivia. No, Olivia smiled. I've always been the same. I've just recognized my own worth. 1 year later, Robinson Properties had been remarkably rebuilt under Olivia. Her vision of integrity and accessibility was highly regarded in the market. The affordable housing development project for the middle class was a great success, enhancing the company's reputation. Her relationship with her ex-husband Michael had also been repaired, and he worked as the company's legal counsel while once again spending intimate time with Olivia and the children. Though they hadn't remarried, their mutual respect and understanding had deepened. And then summer vacation came. Olivia planned a vacation with Ethan and Leah to a luxury resort owned by the company. This wasn't a reward but a legitimate company strategic meeting combined with a family vacation. It was a decision made openly, with approval. The day before departure, she posted to the group chat. Tomorrow, I'll be heading to a strategy retreat with Robinson Properties management team and families. The children will be joining us. Wishing everyone a wonderful summer vacation. The attached photo showed smiling Olivia, her children, and Michael. Their expressions were filled with pride and joy. 3 years later, Robinson Properties had established itself as the region's premier real estate company. Olivia had been formally appointed as CEO, and she had remarried Michael. The two had recognized each other's strengths and rebuilt their partnership anew. Her former parents, Harold and Catherine, had received suspended sentences of 2 years and 1 year respectively for misappropriation of company funds and tax evasion. They had admitted their guilt in court and lost most of their assets. Now they lived a modest life in a small apartment in the suburbs. Are Grandpa and Grandma not angry anymore? Leah asked her mother one day. She was now 12 years old and had grown into a sensitive young girl. I don't think they're angry, Olivia answered, gently stroking her daughter's hair. Rather, they're ashamed of their actions. Olivia didn't completely cut off her parents, allowing monthly meal gatherings. However, these were always in public places, with the children present. Harold and Catherine were trying to gradually repair their relationship with their grandchildren. Their once authoritarian attitude had disappeared, and now they behaved humbly. Making mistakes is natural as humans, Olivia taught her children. What's important is learning from those mistakes and having the will to change in the right direction. Melissa and Brad had divorced, and Melissa had returned to her parents' home with her children. Having lost her position at the company, she was trying to rebuild her life while working as a cashier at a local supermarket. Brad had moved out of state and was often late with child support payments. How's Aunt Melissa? Ethan asked one day. At 15, he had grown into a young man with keen insight. She's in the process of learning, Olivia answered. Rebuilding a life takes time. One day, Olivia gave a speech at a company charity event. Many local residents, business partners, and relatives gathered at the venue. Life sometimes brings unexpected turning points, she began in a gentle voice. 3 years ago, I was simply a mother wishing to give her children a good summer vacation. Today, our company is growing with the motto of integrity and transparency. What's most important is to remain honest no matter what difficulties you face. And to teach the right values to the next generation. Our children learn by watching our actions. Not wealth or status, but integrity is the true legacy. Harold and Catherine were also in the audience. They shed quiet tears as they listened to their daughter's speech. What they had lost wasn't just money and status, but the trust of their family. And they had learned, in their old age, that regaining that trust was much harder than losing it. Melissa was also standing in a corner of the venue. Her former arrogance gone, she watched her sister's success with a tired expression. She was still in the middle of a long road of atonement, but at least she had begun teaching her children the importance of living honestly. A single photo changed the family's fate. Sometimes, Olivia thinks about her decision that day. It was a bitter choice, but she's convinced it was the right one for her and her children, and ironically, for her parents themselves. Truth sometimes comes with pain, Olivia thought to herself. But it's a necessary pain for growth. The scene she saw from the airplane window changed her life. But now, the view she sees from her window is a new horizon built with honesty and courage.